Welcome back, everyone, to another video. I'm Johan. I'm your host on this channel, Hardcore Spirituality. Welcome back. I also want to take this time to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I want to thank those who share the videos, that share these teachings. Thank you. If you like the video, I appreciate that as well. It helps the algorithm to get these teachings out to other people. And I appreciate all your comments. Always appreciate your comments. The kind ones. The generous ones, right? So what is this channel about? Anyway, hardcore spirituality. Or as sometimes I say, let's get gangster about certain topics. Well, it's not just me. There are other people. I could call them regulars. And maybe those behind the scenes that, aren't public, but they're rooting for you and praying for you. And rooting and praying for what? What are we all doing here? Well, in essence, this channel is about, we want to help end your suffering, all right? And most of us have taken certain paths to do that. Spiritual paths, spiritual ways. I've said it before. If you're not sure, you could Google, what is a spiritual path? What is a spiritual way? What are spiritual principles? A lot of times you'll find that these are teachings, and they're ancient teachings, or as I often say, teachings from, times of antiquity, okay? We investigate, we read these teachings, okay? We take the information that we get and apply it to our lives, our life and our lives. And we watch the quality of our lives improve. So, one drawback that I found that people have is maybe you belong to an organized religion. Now, I've said it before. I will not condemn organized religion. I first learned what I'm about to say in the big book of AA. And whether you agree with me or not, you might nod your head, yeah, to what I'm about to say is in that book. Don't be so self-righteous. Because organized religion has helped millions of people. But what happens is, there are reports out there, there are people talking about it. Anything that isn't an organized religion is evil, of the devil, these types of things. And I'm here to tell you, that's not true. That's not true. In this sense, because if you followed me for a while, I've described to you the teachings, these ancient teachings, teachings from times of antiquity that I've studied, that I've taken this knowledge and applied it to my life and watched my quality of life improve, my thinking improved, how I live was transcended. The Stoics, Stoics. Have you checked out the Stoics yet? Give it a shot. I've also mentioned I call the 12 steps of the 12-step program a course for anyone, really. And where it says alcohol or alcoholism, you could substitute whatever is the problem or addiction in your life. You could substitute it there. Take out the word alcoholism. Google it, 12 steps of the 12-step program, and just read them. Maybe some things are said that are, and there are, not all of it, but there are things said that pertain only to alcoholics. But you could read it. Each step. And see what applies to you. What the hell have you got to lose? What have you got to gain? The end of your suffering is what you have to gain. So we have the Stoics. We have that course, the 12 steps of the 12-step program. I've studied many religions, many spiritual paths, and many spiritual ways. Other spiritual paths and ways I studied are Buddhism. That's one of them, Buddhism. There's a lot of good information in Buddhism. You study it, you read it, something jumps out at you, apply it to your life, and see if your quality of life improves. I'm not telling you to leave your organized religion. I've never said that. This is about ending your suffering, okay? So there's Buddhism. I've studied Taoism. I've studied the teachings of Confucius, just to name a few. I've even studied, there's a lot of Hindu religions, so I've studied a few of those. I've taken those things, those gems I call them, that jumped out at me, applied that knowledge to my life, my way of thinking changed, my attitude and outlook on life changed, and my quality of life improved. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I would venture to say, and there's not many of the people that are subscribed to this channel that I'm familiar with that are what I call the regulars, okay? I think I'm right or correct when I say a lot of people that come here are people who have gone through the emotional ringer, have been abused, have been addicted to various substances, and their own behavior was inappropriate. So you're drawn here for whatever reason. I don't make titles like, if you see this video, it was meant for you. I don't do that. There's a lot of that out there, right? Or don't skip this video, you'll regret it. There's a lot of that out there. Whatever way you get here, you get here. But I'm not the only one. I have a couple decades of maintaining my spiritual condition using tools from my spiritual toolkit, which is daily meditation, prayer, and daily self-examination. And there are others here who have been doing this, probably some longer than me. I don't know, you haven't told me, and I know why you haven't told me. Because you don't boast. I'm not boasting. I'm attempting to let you know in a general way who I am. And we've ended a lot of our suffering. We've ended a lot of our suffering. I think this is also key when you embark on any investigation that we're discussing here in this video. To have an open mind. I'm not telling you to keep it a secret from your pastor. That's up to you. All right? I'm not telling you to keep it a secret from your sponsor in the 12-step group. That's up to you. All right? I truly believe there is information, and this goes to people in organized religion, all right? This is what I'm about to say. There is information out there that, for whatever reason, your leaders don't want you to have. Why, I don't know. I can't say. I could speculate. Because once you get this information, once you do these investigations, once you start doing this research, once you start applying these ancient principles to your life and your quality of life changes, well, you might back off from the flock. I'm not telling you to, but if you do, they're going to lose, people. That could be the reason. I'm not going to say, but there probably are leaders in church that I could say it's their job to control you, And in some cases, that's not bad because some people would be lunatics without someone controlling them from the pulpit. You get where I'm coming from? There are those cases. Now, 12-step groups. I want to address them here. Oh, let me get my new reading glasses, please. Hold on. If you're in a 12-step group, right, you're familiar with the big book. Here's what I want to read you on page. I'm from the South. I lived there for a long time. Page 164, okay? In the big book. Still you may say, but I will not have the benefit of contact with you who write this book. We cannot be sure. God will determine that, all right? Are they crooked? God will determine that. So you must remember that your real reliance is on Him. Your reliance is on God, not the group, not going to meetings every day. And I made videos about that. I'll leave a link to what was the focus of early AA. It wasn't meetings. It was morning meditation. So I'll start again. Still you may say, but I will not have the benefit of contact with you who write this book. This is on page 164 of the big book. We cannot be sure. God will determine that. So you must remember that your real reliance is always upon Him, capital H. He, capital H, will show you how to create the fellowship you crave. Well, guess what? I think God showed me fellowship somewhere else other than meetings. Here's the big one. Did you ever read this? It's on page 164 of the book. Big book. Our book is meant to be suggestive only. We realize we know only a little. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. Ask Him in the morning meditation what you can do each day for the man who is still sick. Ask God what you can do each day for the man who is still sick. I was led to start a YouTube channel. So ask God every day what you can do for the man who is still sick. Here's what happens next in this paragraph. The answers will come if your own house is in order. But obviously you can't transmit something you haven't got. See to it that your relationship with him is right, and great events will come to pass for you and countless others. The answers will come if your own house is in order. What could that mean? Well, I'm going to give you one example. I'm going to leave a few links in the description below of videos I made, all right? What does it mean if your own house is in order? Well, I've been in the 12-step program for 33 years. 13 years from 1988 to 2001. And now from 2004 till today. 1988 to 2001, I was sober. 2004 till today, over 20 years, I'm sober and I'm spiritual. That's the difference. And I've made videos on this as well. In the 33 years I've been in a program, I have heard many people, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. And when I say what I'm going to say, you're going to say, yeah, I heard that, right? I don't meditate. I don't meditate. That's what they say. But in the next breath, they'll say, I practice the steps every day. Well, no, you don't. Because step 11 is sought through prayer and meditation to what? Improve our conscious contact with God. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. So if you are not meditating, I might have to question if you're improving your conscious contact with God. Is your own house really in order? Well, Johan, you've said you don't go to meetings anymore, right? You're doing spiritual maintenance. You're using tools in your spiritual kit. But are you still practicing the steps? Yes, I am. In the beginning of the big book, they talk about how different religions, spiritual paths, spiritual organizations, if we could call them that, approved of the 12 steps. And a lot of them approve because it involves prayer, which these ancient spiritual paths have been doing for thousands of years. And it involves meditation, which these ancient spiritual paths have been doing for thousands of years. Way before organized religion. Way before AA. If you read the foreword of the 12 and 12, it says in there, the 12 steps are principles spiritual in nature. Where did these principles come from? It says in the foreword, these principles came from mainly medical societies and the religious society. Now that's from the 12 and 12, the foreword. That was written, I think, in 1952, 53, and was published in 54. Right around there. Everything was called religion. You know, spiritual groups were called religion. Spiritual paths were considered religion, all right? Religion was considered in a lot of areas as a spiritual thing. It's all spiritual to me. So, the 12 steps were derived from the medical societies. That would be mental health, physical health, all right? And religion. Catholics, Bible preaching, Buddhist, it's in there. It's in that book. You could even Google what religions were the 12 steps derived from. What religions were the 12 steps derived from? Google it. You'll get your answer. Okay? I was afraid to stop going to meetings because I heard so many times, if you stop going to meetings, you're going to drink. If you stop going to meetings, you're going to drink. I'm here to tell you, you won't, as long as you continue daily spiritual maintenance. It tells us in the book we're not cured of alcoholism. I think it's page 58. I'm not sure, in the big book. All we have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. Okay? Daily I meditate. Daily I pray. Daily I definitely self-examine myself to correct any wrongs. And I also include, because it tells us in step 10 and the 12 and 12, don't forget to do a list at night. If you do your self-examination at night, don't forget to include the good things, the positive things, right? If you've been following me for a while, you know I have my own degree, self-taught in neuroscience. I know how the brain works. Here's something you hear at AA meetings a lot. Take what you need and leave the rest. In other words, you could hear the same bullshit line or the same lie 100 times, but they're saying, well, take what you need and leave the rest. You can't. And this is another reason I stopped going, especially old-timers. Old-timers say things that are bullshit and lies, and the newcomers are repeating it. Like meeting makers make it. That's a lie. That's already been debunked. Things like this. I made videos on it. I'm not going to get into it now. But let me tell you something. Like right now you're watching this video and listening to me. So your mind is recording it through your ears, correct? And your eyes are recording it. You hear these things at AA meetings 20 times. That's probably enough there. It's logged in your data bank in your subconscious. Okay? Oh, you don't have a sponsor? You're not practicing the program the way it was laid out. That's a lie too. These things. Oh, you don't go to meetings every day? How are you helping other alcoholics? I've already talked about this. At some point after AA became on the scene big, not long after that, rehab started to pop up. And guess what? Rehabs today have a more successful recovery rate than AA does. I'm going to make a video on it. You can look it up yourself. Google it. Do rehabs have a better recovery than AA meetings? You'll be surprised. Don't believe the lies. This is like cult stuff. Cult. Take what you need and leave the rest. Well, keep listening to the bullshit. We need you to come back because we know the bullshit is going to affect how you live. We know the lies are going to manipulate your positive, grateful attitude. You're going to get sick from this poison. So we need you to keep coming back for help. It's a lie. So anyway, we're talking about ending your suffering. And again, I want to reiterate, if this is all new to you, and like me and a lot of my subscribers, you were a victim of child abuse and other abuse, go to therapy. Please. And don't care what anybody else thinks. Do it for yourself. Do it for your health. All right? And then investigate these things I discussed. And interact with people in the comments. I'm done with you negative assholes, all right? I mentioned this before a couple days ago, last week maybe, that, I got to a point on this channel where if you're violating YouTube's laws, I'm going to report you. Because people are leaving remarks trying to slander my reputation, even though they don't know me. But their comments, if I knew who they were, I would take them to court and win. Okay? I report them. And I'm going to report them. Or I'm going to remove you and block you, which I just did recently. A new person showed up and was going through all my videos and insulting me. Look what the word insult means if you don't know. It's not that I took it personal. Insult means something. And they were contemptuous. And leaving remarks like, well, what you're saying is wrong. And I could tell by their comments that they've been indoctrinated by the poison and lies from AA. They were an AA member. I could tell, you know? They're gone. I'm not putting up with that shit. I don't want it in my comments. I'm done now. So thank you for watching this video. One last thing, I don't monetize this channel. I'm not here for money. I could, but I don't. I'm not here for money. Also, I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm self-taught in a lot of things. I've done a lot of investigations. I've done a lot of reading, equivalent to college courses. But if you doubt anything I say, do your own investigation, but be honest about it. Please be honest about it. We just want to end your suffering. We want to see, and now I'm not talking about religion or 12-step groups. I think I made my case there. Societies have been manipulated. People have become toxic from the poison on television and on the internet. Poison. And they manipulate other people. They do worse than manipulate other people. They harm you. They come after you. They come after your wife, your husband, your kids. They're subtle about it sometimes. And sometimes they do it right out in the open. I already made a video about predators in AA meetings based on my own experience. We want you to understand you're being manipulated. If you haven't watched that video I made this morning, right? Chosen One's the only video you need. We're done wasting precious time and energy. Just watch that one. That's by David Icke. I think he's a philosopher. Probably a mystic. You know, I'm a mystic, but I'm not at that level. Watch that video. See if it resonates with you. Thank you everyone who watched that video. I just hope my experiences and what I've learned helps you end your suffering. That you're not harmed anymore by people held hostage. And my followers, my subscribers, my regulars, as I call them. If you leave a comment, I'm sure there are a few who will give you a reply. You're not alone anymore. This is a great time we live in right now. This is a great time. Eyes are being opened, and not just eyes, minds. M-I-N-D-S. Minds are being opened. It's your choice. It's your decision what kind of day you're going to have. It's your choice. It's your decision what kind of life you're going to have. So why not have a good one? I'll see you in the next video, hopefully. Johan out. Peace.